This episode of the Jesse T Show is brought to you by 46 and 2 Wealth Partners. This year, many people have lots of money questions. Finding the right information can be tough, and more importantly, finding someone that you like and have confidence in is even tougher. If you'd like to keep more of your money, and more importantly, if you'd like to stop trading time for money and live the life you deserve, contact 46 and 2 Wealth Partners today. Right now, Jesse T Show listeners will receive a free 15-minute phone call that will leave you with at least one idea on how to keep or make more money. Text promo code Jesse T Show to phone number 202-301-4503. Keedar,
yes.
Welcome to the show, brother.
Thank you.
Heck yeah, man. So we have a common connection, and I was like, I want to talk to a couple entrepreneurs, thought leaders, badass people that are doing big things, and your name came up.
Oh, this was hey, I was shocked.
I'm glad you're here, man. So just for some context, tell the listeners and viewers a little bit about your story, your journey, what you do.
Where do I begin? All right, so born and raised in Atlanta.
Yep.
Left Atlanta, went to school in Virginia, graduated from Norfolk State University.
Okay.
Went up to Boston. I was a science coordinator for 3 middle schools in Boston. My whole life I was an athlete.
Okay.
So.
You got some height on you.
Yeah.
6'3", 6'4"?
6'6".
Oh, you're 6'6"? I'm kind of tall, so I have like this weird, skewed, perception.
So my whole life I've been an athlete. I played baseball and basketball. That's what all my extracurricular activities, basketball, baseball.
Yeah.
That's it. But there was always more that I wanted to do in life.
Sure.
And so Bud from the Cosby Show.
Yeah.
I always thought I could do what he do. Plus, I had a crush on Rudy.
Right.
So I was like, I need to do what he do.
Right. Follow that path. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I always thought Urkel's job was fun. So I've always had this thing for the arts.
Okay. Very cool.
I grew up with a guy by the name of Kenan Thompson.
Yeah.
He was on SNL.
I know Kenan Thompson.
So
I used to watch Kenan and Kel when I was a kid.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So, we was in church together, then we went to high school together. So I saw the arts. Kenan's not an athlete.
Yeah.
So he could do the arts.
He focused, doubled down.
He doubled down on the arts. But I always had that thing for the arts. So when I was in Boston, I auditioned for my first professional play.
Awesome. What was it? What play?
It was, I just went blank.
What was it about?
It was a Vietnam War drama.
Yeah.
Done by Hovey Players out in Waltham.
Okay, yeah.
And so we won a bunch of awards. And I won a bunch of awards through New England for this play.
Wow.
And I was big.
Yeah.
So I was like, bro, I like this.
Yeah.
I'm not hooping anymore.
Got the recognition. You felt a little bit of inspired that you were on a good path.
Yeah. So and I'm not hooping anymore.
Yeah.
So I can do whatever I want.
How far did you take basketball?
College. I played college ball.
Okay.
Yeah, I played college
Starter
ball.
or?
No.
No?
I was on scholarship. I went to school for free.
Right, there you go. That's what you want, right?
That's all I wanted.
Got some benefit?
I
awesome.
could have.
Yeah.
But I didn't focus.
Too much school, too much chasing girls? What was the deal?
Not enough passion.
Not enough passion. Okay, that's important.
It's important.
Yeah.
Not enough passion.
Not enough passion. And so did you kind of know when you got into that level of playing ball in college? Was it D1, D2?
D1.
D1. Mm-hmm. Okay. So you're playing at the highest level in college ball. Did you kind of know based on where your passion was that it just wasn't going to be a forever thing?
Yeah, it wasn't going to be a forever.
That's a hard decision because I used to love basketball growing up. I played basketball, baseball, football, and basketball, I loved the most out of all three. Football, I had the most fun. Baseball, I was the best at out of all three of them.
I should have played baseball.
Yeah, I should have stayed with baseball. I probably could have done something with it. So stopping my career basically in high school, because I played for 2 seasons in high school with basketball and realized I wasn't going to be able to take it to the next level at the level I wanted to, was kind of soul-crushing in a way because I loved it so much.
I spent my whole life playing ball.
Yeah.
So I had an injury.
Yep, okay. Knee, ankle?
I broke my tibia and fibula, lower leg.
Wow.
And the dude was the doctor.
Doctor.
I denounced him to a dude.
yeah, he's still a dude.
He was like, oh, you'll never play ball at a competitive level again.
That's not what you want to hear.
But I was stubborn enough to be like, what?
I'll show you.
I'm going to show you.
Yeah.
And I did.
Good for you.
So I got a basketball scholarship, played ball. Knew I wasn't
Shooting guard, point guard?
Point guard, shooting guard.
Yeah.
Anytime we go to a big lineup, I play point guard.
Yep.
Shooting guard normally, though. I mean, my uncle played in the NBA for 14 years.
Who's your uncle?
World Be Free.
Yeah.
He was a shooter.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Was he close enough to where you could learn from him, like playing growing up?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Absolutely.
Very cool.
So I spent a lot of time in New York
Yeah.
and Jersey and Philly.
You go up to the Rucker and play up there?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How's the competition up there? Crazy, right?
Everything they say it is.
Yeah. That's crazy. I've seen a ton of videos.
Even playing in the Sunny Hill League in Philly.
Yeah.
Everything they say it is.
Yep.
Like everything they say it is. So, I mean, there's some hoopers out there.
For sure.
There's some hoopers that we will never see.
100%. That probably could play in the league, right?
Hoopers.
What is it that stops people? Is it just fear of the future? Like maybe they don't think what would stop someone if they had that level of ability to not go in the league?
Not enough passion.
Really? It's a passion. Just wanting to do it.
You gotta want.
Yeah.
Bro, I mean, we might be jumping the gun on the conversation, but I'm gonna take it wherever it flows. I can pinpoint places in my life. Had I just sold out and gone all in, it would have been a different outcome.
For sure. I agree with that.
And now, in my 40s. Now in my 40s, I see that naturally I'm better than a lot of people.
Yeah, just like a lot of different things. Just
whatever.
Pick stuff up. Yeah.
Naturally, I'm better than a lot of people.
Yeah.
But it's a very thin line between good and great.
150%, yeah.
Like a very thin line between good and great.
And it's a big difference, though, once you go from good to great.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
My whole life, I was so worried about being cool.
Yep.
Or missing out.
Yeah.
That
live life.
That I'm really missing out. And more importantly, there are people that are missing out because they're waiting on me.
Yep.
I should have been something to them a long time ago.
Right. But you can't do it for them. And their passion for it wasn't your passion for it, obviously.
No. It's not that I can't do it for them, but they're missing the leader that I'm supposed to be.
Well, that's another way to look at it, too.
They're missing the person that they're supposed to be inspired by.
Yeah.
That's what they're missing.
Yep.
Because I never gave it all. I never sold out to whatever I'm.
Just completely
Bro, we wonder why. You wonder why there are deficiencies in a lot of marriages.
Yeah.
Because we don't sell out to the marriage.
Well, you know what I heard too is, Jesse Itzler? You follow him at all? He's a husband to Sarah Blakely, who runs Spanx, big company here in Atlanta.
Owner of the Hawks.
Yeah, owner of the Hawks. They have a lot of interests for sure.
We went to Babson. They went to Babson.
Oh, really?
And I did a program in Babson.
I didn't know that. Yeah. That's super cool. We could touch on that. But basically, he was saying in an Instagram post the other day, because he just did an Ironman, like a virtual Ironman. Like he's big into pushing his limits, and he lived with David Goggins for a while. If you know who Goggins is, he's friggin' incredible. Changed my life. Goggins did, and he's like, just take it off the table. He's like, I'm not going to give you a good example. I'm going to give you an example of something bad. But he's like, divorce. This is what you're talking about. He's like, just take the idea of getting divorced off the table. It's not an option.
It's not an option.
If it's not an option, you'll find a way to make it work.
Figure it out.
That's where that came from, yeah.
You'll figure it out.
Yep.
Bro, so I just got finished reading a book, The Power of Your Subconscious Mind.
Love it. I'm big into that. Like, we could talk, I'm into some weird shit, dude. Like subconscious, like biohacking, plant medicines. Like, I'm into a lot of stuff, but yeah. But talk about it.
I needed a young lady. So I had.
Let it out. Let it out.
I had like a 10-year disconnect with religion.
Yeah. Was it the way you were brought up? Because I was Catholic and I was force-fed Catholicism, and I didn't believe in that style, but I believed that there was a God, so I needed to go on my own path. Was it something similar where you were force-fed?
Similar.
But like you had to find your own thing?
I wasn't force-fed. Okay. I wasn't force-fed because I embrace it. I love it. Like, it's me. It's who I am.
Yep.
But I felt like there wasn't enough power behind the examples versus what I was being taught.
Yep. I gotcha.
Like, you can't tell me God is almighty, yet you still got hope.
Yeah.
Hope?
Yeah.
You just told me God is almighty.
Yeah.
So why are we bringing hope into the situation? We're supposed to know God is almighty.
Yep.
Plus, I wasn't giving my all. I wasn't where I was supposed to be. So there was a big disconnect for religion for me.
Yeah.
And I kept saying, why do we have to always go to God? Didn't he give us everything inside of us that we need?
Yeah.
The answer is yes. I just didn't know how to manifest it.
Yeah.
There was at some point, my entire life, people have always said to me, you are highly favored. And so I walked around even from a little kid knowing I was highly favored. So things would just happen to me. Yep. This is part of that just being good and being better than just the average person. And I used those skills to think I was living out my true manifestation.
Yeah. Could have been the subconscious mind too at play. You know? So programming.
I needed this. So fast forward. So I just finished this book not too long ago, and I needed this young lady to quit, but I didn't want to fire her because I would have to pay her unemployment insurance.
Right.
When I say she came to me 15 minutes before our Monday morning meeting and turned in her 2 weeks notice.
Called it into fruition, man. Put it out there. You know Dr. Joe Dispenza? Mm-hmm. Incredible. I do a lot of stuff with understanding just kind of what his work is, and it's weird how this stuff is there's something to it, and there's it's
a lot bro. Why does the ugly dude always get the girlfriend?
Right.
Because he believes he deserves.
A lot of it's confidence. A lot of it is putting it out there. He
put it out there.
Let me give you another example of the dude getting the girlfriend. So I had a guy on this podcast recently who was into motocross, and up until 14 years old, that was his dream, that was his life, his vision. Gets into an accident, gets paralyzed from the chest down. Creates this company that serves and helps people with disabilities to live their best lives. He's local here in Atlanta, and he's talking to me about his dating life. He's crushing it in his dating life. And I'm like, bro, you're sitting here telling me that you're paralyzed from the chest down, but you're getting after life. You're skydiving, you're kayaking, or whatever you're doing. You're chasing girls, whatever it is you're doing. And there's people that are able-bodied, but disabled in the mind that won't go out and do half the things you're doing.
Won't do half the things.
Incredible.
It's when I say there is a whole nother side of freedom.
100%. Yeah.
There's a side of life that most people won't even tap into because they don't believe it's for them.
Or they're afraid.
Will
Smith says it. He's like, your best life is on the other side of fear. And once you step over that line, you look back, you're like, why the hell did it take me so long to get here?
Right.
And he's had an incredible life. I know he's dealt with some stuff,
Fear is like one of the biggest things that we deal with in acting.
Yeah. I believe it. You're exposing yourself. You're naked.
One of the biggest things we do. I mean, fear is something that's taught, and it comes in form of tension. I will, to this day, I will check to see if my butt cheeks are clenched. To this day.
You got it, man.
I could be mid-conversation and my butt cheeks relax.
That's
you know what I'm saying? Because I don't even want to have this conversation with any kind of tension or fear.
Right.
That's how crazy fear runs our lives. My wife was saying something. She was like, I know, but you want a private jet and do all of that and you're going to be away from the family. Who says that?
Right.
Why are you putting that projection out there?
Right.
Why are you putting that fear out there?
Words have power, man. And like your intentions, I've heard it sounds kind of weird, but they're almost like spells. If you continually think and project and emote things,
it's going to happen.
It will happen for better or for worse.
For better or for worse.
You have to protect your mind.
Might as well choose the better.
Yeah. You have to protect your mind and your thoughts and your words and how you put things out in the universe because it'll happen. How'd you find Dr. Joe or the subconscious mind training? Did it find you?
I think it was Kelly Rowland mentioned it.
Yeah.
Or somebody mentioned it. She was like, oh, yeah, I've been kind of diving into my subconscious mind. I just want to check this out. And I was like, yeah, me too.
Napoleon Hill, he talks about it. Think and Grow Rich.
Think and Grow Rich.
It's all about, so I've recently, I got a buddy of mine, he's I'm ex-military, he's a ex-Green Beret, and he's big into the same stuff I'm into now. So I've had this life of growing up rough in Boston, becoming an entrepreneur or military entrepreneur, and then now I'm still an entrepreneur, but I'm in the spiritual walk in life, and like I work with plant medicine, sacred plant medicines, and like learning things about God and ego and all these different things. He sent me
Power of Now right now.
Yeah.
I'm reading about ego.
Yeah, and Eckhart Tolle. Eckhart Tolle's, the hell's the name of his book? I'll get the name of it for you, but it's beautiful, and it talks about ego and the pain body and these things that we've anyway. So with the study of the subconscious mind, and there's so much power. Like there's things you can use like binaural beats for brain entrainment, and you put on. My buddy who's the Green Beret I was telling you about, he has this meditation that he created, and it's carving a groove in the brain. It's literally changing your brain. Where if you have meditation, or if you have a mantra, or if you do any number of things, you can literally dictate the world outside of just a thought. Start with a thought.
Start with the thought.
Yeah.
When I was reading The Power of Now, and it talked about the brain, it just being a tool. But if we think about our brain is who we are.
Sure.
But the brain is not who we are.
Right.
The brain is just a tool to manifest who you are.
Yep. The soul, man. I'm big into that. Like our soul is just a passenger in this life, and like the brain is a tool to be able to kind of carry our soul through this.
And you can
70, 80, 90 years.
When they say you can turn your brain off.
Yeah.
What?
What? You can definitely get into a super low,
So if I can control my brain, I can control other things in life.
Yeah. How are you seeing that playing out for you in your day-to-day life with now that you have the access to the information for subconscious mind stuff, and for like probably even innately knowing in your life when you were told that you were highly favored and you believe that, and it's allowed you to, in your words, be better than other people in certain things, not as a human, right? Like,
right.
We don't want the ego kicking in, but you're naturally better at like, I don't know, playing quarters with friends. You would take their money, or you're naturally better at basketball. You're naturally better at science. You're naturally better at like you had a gift. How has that been expanded upon now with this information of subconscious mind? So like, how is that helping you show up in business and life and relationships now?
So, as a owner, so we staff educators at schools.
Okay.
Since COVID hit, there are no schools.
That's rough. Yeah.
So it's rough. So I mean, we've been losing tens of thousands a month.
Mm-hmm.
And it came to a point where I said, all right, I might just fold up till the schools open back up. And I said, what?
Yeah.
No. This is what is going to happen.
Good.
This is how we're moving. This is the new direction. And when I said that, new ideas started coming. Oh no, this is how I can make money.
Yeah.
I started another company.
The entrepreneur's hustle, man. You pivoted. It's like
I pivoted.
They say as an entrepreneur, the idea is that you're the one that'll jump out of a plane without a parachute, but you figure out how to make a parachute before you hit the ground.
Yep.
It's the same thing that happened with you having to pivot during COVID, where like your business in your mind was dictated based on physical bodies being placed in a school where schools were pretty much shut down and virtual. So you're like, well, how do I make money? How did you pivot? Like, what were the new business? What were the new ideas that you went forward with?
So so in the beginning, all schools closed down, but eventually childcare facilities opened back up. And a lot of the childcare facilities were for first
responders. And like,
responders. Well, who's going to staff those people?
Right.
All right, well, let me get on the phone and say, hey, your school open? All right, cool. This is what I do. Oh, we need people.
Yep.
So I said, all right, I'm going to just go get more childcare facilities. I started another company. Schools are closed. Parents have to do the work at home.
Yeah.
Parents don't want to do that work at home.
I have a 6 and a 4-year-old, so I'm in both worlds. Daycare,
you don't want to
virtual
do
learning.
So we now deploy teachers into homes to help with the virtual learning.
Beautiful.
We've created little pods that if you have been quarantining with the family, and you guys have most people got kids our age, they have families that they quarantined with that have kids that age because they play together.
Yep.
Put them in a pod together. Let them get that social, emotional, and touch from a human.
They need that.
Because they need it.
Yeah.
And it makes it cheaper for you guys.
Yeah, right? It's beautiful. So a lot of people keep saying, and I understand this as a business person, but like a lot of people keep saying that like there's a lot of money to be made in this type of environment. And if you just know how to pivot.
If you just know, when I say it's a ton of money, anytime there is any world or real country, but world low,
yeah,
there is a new set.
Yep.
Like a new set of millionaires, multimillionaires that have just come up.
Yep.
There's some people that have gone from our company was making $3 million a year, now we're making 30.
Beautiful.
Just because of COVID.
Yeah. That's incredible. And I think not laying down, but standing up and it gets, as an entrepreneur, you know this. How long you been running your deal for?
4 years.
4 years. Yeah. So as an entrepreneur, and I'm in a people-based business. I meet with people for a living. And even that being said, and I meet with like referral partners and people that I can help and, podcast guests. So I'm a people person.
Right.
But there's times where as an entrepreneur, and I'm sure you've experienced this, it gets lonely. It gets dark. It gets depressing, maybe too strong a word, but maybe it might be for some people, but it gets like to a point where it's like, well, you can't see the daylight at the end of the tunnel, and you kind of get in the weeds. It's important to have a lot of things. I think it's important to have, like, I call it the rule of thirds, where, and I didn't make this up, but the rule of thirds is where you have a third of your contacts that are ahead of you in life, family, spirituality, relationships, basically mentors.
Right.
You can lean on them for insights because they've been through what you're going through. Right. The next rule, part of the thirds in the middle, is the third of people, your contacts, that are kind of at the same place you're at. You can share war stories, trade notes, kind of go through battle together, so to speak. And then that bottom third, which just means people that haven't gotten to where you are yet, now you can turn around from those couple levels and give back.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? So for you going through pivoting recently and then just the roller coaster ride that is entrepreneurship, what have been some of your fail safes that have kind of helped you get through those tough transitions? Like, what helps you get through those tough times?
My wife is a doctor.
Okay.
So we're comfortable.
Yeah. Easy enough.
No, I'm just playing. No, but
that's great.
I mean, it's true, man.
Yeah, I get it.
No.
What kind of doctor?
Pediatrician.
Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah,
very cool.
She's one of the lead peds for Kaiser.
Awesome.
And that's what she did in LA.
Very cool.
Well. Yeah.
Is that where you met her? LA?
We met in LA.
Very cool.
Yeah, we got a crazy story.
Were you doing acting stuff out there?
Yep.
Yeah. Talk about that a little bit. That crazy story. Yeah.
So I left Boston and moved to New York.
Yep.
And did Broadway for 2 years.
Very cool. Different beast? Like from what you were doing? Yeah.
Completely
like stage work, local stuff to go to Broadway.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I mean, just the knowledge gained.
Yep.
The dedication, the hours.
Yep.
The excitement.
The contacts you probably made.
The contacts. Yeah. And when I say New York was fun.
Yeah.
Because at the same time.
I believe it.
At the same time, Keenan was on SNL.
Yep. Were you close with him? Like we call him up and hang out kind of thing, or?
We hung out a lot.
Yeah, okay.
I was actually closer to the other black guy, Finesse Mitchell.
Okay, yeah.
And, he and I, we're still really close.
Yeah.
His mom and my mom knew each other.
Okay, yeah.
So I would hang out with those two. I would go to parties that I shouldn't have been at, but I should have. I was there. At the time, my cousin was Diddy's personal assistant. Okay. So it was some access there that was like crazy. So my New York life was like amazing. I lived in Times Square, Hell's Kitchen. I was on 43rd between 8th and 9th. So I was always in the mix. New York was beautiful.
Doesn't sleep either. Yeah.
Doesn't sleep. Whatever non-trouble or trouble you want in New York is there at whatever hour you want.
It's like Boston on steroids. Like it's like Boston has a lot of stuff, but like it's like it's like its bigger brother.
Exactly. Yeah. Boston closes at some point.
It does. It's New York too early.
Exactly. And then from New York, I went to LA.
Yep. So you were following the passion, you wanted to. Was it acting? Just acting in general? Like what was the career track that you were trying to go down?
I was trying to become Oprah.
Yeah.
Well, or Will Smith.
Mopra, the man Oprah.
The man Mopra. I was trying to become Mopra so I can open up schools around the world.
Okay.
And have that platform to talk about education.
Yep. Where did that? And we'll keep going down because there's a couple of questions we still
My
have to
mama's
answer.
an educator. My sister's an educator.
Okay, so it was in your family.
It's in my family.
And then we'll go back to the dark times with the entrepreneurship. But so you're chasing the. Well, you mentioned your wife. That's how we got into that. So we're chasing the kind of path that would lead to being that leader that you talked about
Exactly.
for people that were needing you to lead them. So it takes you to LA.
Go to LA.
Yeah.
LA was hot. First couple years, pop, pop, pop. National commercials,
Yep.
TV shows,
Yep.
Tours.
Okay.
I do stand-up comedy.
Living the
so
life.
like stand-up comedy on the road every three
Heck yeah.
weekends.
Yep.
Like
You follow anybody at the store, comedy store?
I do.
Yeah. I love everybody that comes to the store.
Performing at the
Yeah.
comedy store.
Yeah.
Performing all through Hollywood. Like life is amazing.
Living the dream.
Living the goddamn dream. Like
Yeah,
living
super
the
excited.
dream. Like, and then I got someone pregnant.
Okay. Okay. Well, wife or no?
Not my
Okay,
wife.
okay,
no.
okay.
Someone here in Atlanta.
Yeah.
So then it was,
Yep. Life got real.
life got really
The party
real.
started to kind of fade away a little bit.
Life got really real. So at the time, there was this pastor in Atlanta that I was close with because I grew up at his church. But come to find out, he was doing some not so
Shady stuff.
Some shady stuff.
Yeah.
So at that time, it was like, dang, like if he can mess up in life, like
Anyone can.
what am I?
We're all fallible as men and women.
So why am I out here really trying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is how I took it. The economy had just crashed.
Yep.
So everything was going bad.
So this was around 08-ish?
08.
Yeah.
08 was the start of it.
Okay.
08 was the start of me not living out my power.
Yep.
And just year after year, it just got heavier and heavier and heavier. So I mean, I still act. Like I'm on a TV show right now called Your Honor.
Yep.
That's on Showtime.
Yep.
Well, it's coming out. We're still shooting. And I've had several roles throughout the year. Each year I get a role or two on TV. But it never amounted to what I thought it would be at the various stages of my life.
Yep.
But when I look back, I'm like, I know why.
Yep.
Because I went to go mess with her versus learning my lines.
Yep.
I went to go hang out versus going to the class.
Yep.
So, I mean, I get it.
You know that you're like personal responsible for the level of success that you might have been able to obtain versus the fun you wanted to have. Like all of us.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know where we were going with this.
Yeah.
But
Meeting your wife in LA is, I think, where we were going. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
And you got sidetracked a little bit.
So I'm in LA, right? So I'm in LA, and it's around. Don't get me the line. 2015, maybe.
Okay.
I say, next year I'm gonna find my wife.
Okay. There you go. Put it in out there in
next
the
year I'm gonna
universe
find
again.
my wife.
Yep.
It's 2015. I said next year I'm gonna find my wife. I was dealing with a young lady for however many years.
Yep.
So January 30th. It's crazy.
2016?
2016.
Yeah. Okay.
I go to my cousin's baby shower that day. That night, my boy is having a food truck event
That's
because
cool.
he's want everybody to taste his foods and
Yeah.
drinks for the food truck he's about to open.
It's awesome.
I'm cool with him. He's the physical therapist at our athletic club.
Okay.
And my wife, I didn't know her at the time, but he's cool with his wife.
Got it.
She's cool with his wife.
Got it. So there was the common connection.
Common connection.
Yeah.
I show up. I actually go down there with the young lady that I was involved with
For the few years. Yeah.
Because at the time I owned a motorcycle.
Yep.
And I knew we was going to be drinking, so I was going to take an Uber.
Yep.
But the Uber one way was like $100. I was
Wow.
like, nah, I'm not doing that.
Wow.
I was like, hey, you want to go?
Yeah.
She was like, okay.
Yeah.
But when we get down there, God says, how am I ever going to show you who your wife is if you're always with the wrong person?
Wow. You had that hit you? That spoke
The
to you?
moment I got to the door, the moment we were driving to the front door to realize where we were going, that's when it hit me.
Wow.
So I said, hey, look, my bad. I think I'm gonna do this one solo tonight.
After you get there.
Yeah.
You got there.
Yeah.
And this girl that you had been talking to for a few years with, whatever, messing around with, gotta go.
Yeah, I gotta go by myself.
She said,
let me know if you need a ride home.
wow.
Super sweet.
Wow.
Super sweet.
Huh.
Super sweet. But, I mean, it is what it is.
Interesting.
I walk in.
Yeah.
As soon as I walk in, I see 3 young ladies off to the side sitting at this high boy. And they all smiling. They all giggling. They all smiling.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm by myself. I know which table I can go to.
Yep.
So I get my little tickets. I go to their table. I just started talking.
Yep.
There was one little girl. She wasn't really giving no vibes at all. Like, she was not into me.
Not into it, yeah.
And it was my wife and another young lady.
Mm-hmm.
The other young lady, her story wasn't really adding up.
Okay.
Like, I think she had like 3 kids, 3 baby daddies.
Yep.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm not.
She wasn't giving me the real deal.
Yeah, I'm not about to jump into that situation.
You don't want to be number 4.
No, because I already got 2 kids.
Right.
I had twins.
Okay.
My first time.
Okay.
Like, so I definitely don't want that. But my wife and I, we just hit it off.
Beautiful.
The little girl that was behind the high boy, when they stepped out to go use the restroom, she was like 8 months pregnant.
Got it.
So I was like, I know why she won't give me no vibes. But my wife and I, like, we hit it off. We hit it off to the point where we went outside to get food. We was out there for like 2 hours just sharing food. Oh, how's that taste? How's this taste? How's that taste? The next day, I told my boy, I said, hey, man, I think I met my wife. And he
The
was
next
like,
day?
The next day. I was like, bro, I think I met my wife.
Have you ever spoken like this to like your friends before about a girl? Is this like the first time you're like, hey?
First time ever.
Yeah. Wow.
First time ever. The next day, she told his wife, I think I met my husband last night.
Incredible.
Bro, we got married less than 6 months later.
You just knew.
Love at first sight. And I knew my whole life it would be like that.
Really?
I knew my whole life I would lay eyes on my wife and it'd be, that's my wife.
So just another almost subconscious entrainment that you built, just whether it was innate initially, but then you said your whole life that like this was going to happen.
This was going to happen.
And then it happens.
And it happened. Like within 2 hours, I knew she was my wife.
Wow.
It was crazy. Her family's like, no, don't do it. Don't do it.
Really? Oh my goodness. So you meet your wife in 2016 after basically calling it into fruition in reality. And then were you in LA for a little bit long before coming back to Georgia? Was
About a year.
Stops? Okay.
About a year. So we were in LA for a year.
Yep.
Then we moved back here because the twins were here.
Yep.
So I was flying back and forth once a month.
To be involved, yeah.
Sometimes twice a month,
Yeah.
just because I have events and stuff that come up.
Yep.
And it became tasking. And we wanted to spend more time with them.
Yeah.
So we moved back here about 4 years ago.
Okay. Okay.
And I opened up the company. I came back here, bro. I started to open up a childcare facility, and it didn't go through.
Fate would have it.
Fate would have it. Didn't go through. I was like, all right, what I'm gonna do? And my wife looking at me like, all right, what you gonna do?
Yeah.
So I started bartending.
Good for you.
I've
Use the personality, the good looks, the charm.
I've been an actor for
That's what I'm saying.
years. Like I've been a bartender as well.
Bartender. Yeah. Right. Whatever you could get like money to come in.
Exactly.
A lot of people do that.
So I started bartending while opening up my company.
Hell yeah.
And I was on a hook for this. My first like big like partnership.
Yeah.
14 schools, and it's like they all need teachers, and I'm literally getting teachers and have a bank, and I send them over the contract, and they don't sign the contract, and it's like, oh, we'll send it, we'll sign it, They never did.
No.
And then one time I was like, yo, they tripping. I don't know why they not signing this contract. Like, I got what they need.
Yeah.
You know what my wife said? My wife said, well, maybe you just need to pick up some more bartending shifts. I was like, what?
Right.
That's the opposite of what you
It's not what you wanted to hear.
I was like, no, I know what I got works.
Yeah.
Like, I need to figure out why they have it. Like, I need to figure something else out. Like, this works. 2 days later, I had my first contract.
What was it about them holding off? And then did you find someone else to get another contract at this point?
Found someone else 2 days later.
Just kept it moving. Maybe there was just a no. Like in sales, I've been in sales a long time. It's like sometimes it's just a no. You got to keep it moving.
They came back a week later.
Okay. And
so they ended up signing. So I went from no schools to 16 schools.
Beautiful.
October 2016. Or October 2017.
Happy anniversary. That's
Thank
awesome.
you. And I mean, October 2016.
Yeah.
And it went from like 16 schools to like 20 schools to like 25. Now we have over 60 schools that we're partnered with.
How does that, because I don't know anything about that business, so to a degree I understand like the childcare business and understand that model, like one location, that kind of thing. But when you have to staff schools, right? And this is separate, right? But like when you have to staff schools, what is the way to do that? Like you build a contact list of people to like reach out to?
95% of it is substitute teaching.
Okay.
So 95% of substitute teaching.
Okay.
But a lot of schools come to us and say, hey, we couldn't fill this spot, this spot, this spot. What do you have? So we don't try to just have a bank of educators.
Like network of,
but we do have a number that can serve as substitutes. And can be hired if need be.
Got it.
And then we'll just go hire
somebody else. Wow. Okay. And so for you, you've been able to scale this company and grow it to where 60 schools and it's 4 years.
We scaled over 6,500% in 3 years.
Okay. And what would you attribute that to in terms of that kind of growth for your company? Like, was it just hustling, grinding? What was it? Was it
hustling
good, smart moves on like you took a gamble that you felt like you believed in and it paid off? Like what was the growth?
So I think if entrepreneurs can understand this, you don't have to get it right. But if you do it with excellence, you can be forgiven.
For sure.
There's so many times I hear from schools that they say, oh, thank you for responding.
Yeah.
What you mean responding? Like that's the norm.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you for following up. What do you mean following up?
The little things matter so much, man.
What do you mean?
Like follow up, doing what you say you're going to do, going above and beyond.
So
removing friction. Like
above and beyond is one of our core values.
Yeah.
Quality. Anytime you see quality written from our company, quality will be in all caps.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
Because that's what we believe
in it.
At the end of the day, all we care about are the kids.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
We just love the babies.
Yeah.
We got to have those quality people in place to take care of
people
our
that will
babies.
carry that same mission and mindset going into each interaction and not being lazy and wanting to like blow something off or not follow up. Like you need people that actually care.
Man, we get so many referrals. We'll have HR companies. So a lot of the charter private schools, they use a third-party HR company.
Okay.
And so these HR companies will be like, hey, I got a staffing for education if you guys need it. And they'll bring us in just because they're so happy.
Yep.
The other schools are so happy.
People want to do business with like who they know, who they like, and who they trust. And if you've built that image and that persona and that deliverable,
right,
people are going to be like, hey, this is a trustworthy brand, this is a trustworthy business, and the people that are in it are amazing. Like,
and we give it to you.
Yeah.
I come from the education world, so I understand urgency.
Yep.
I understand what it means to have a quality educator. I'm heavy within the industry. I sit on the board of BCDI, which is Black Child Development Institute. So you'll see me in the neighborhoods advocating for education. I'm tapped in.
Yeah.
So they see that. Plus they understand the quality that we give. Like
all caps.
I gotta give it to you.
All caps.
Because it's what I believe in.
Yeah.
In any business, though, there's a lot of businesses, bro. Look, there's a lot of businesses that they don't get it right.
Yep.
But the service is also not right.
Right. Yeah, I agree with that for sure.
And
a lot of times they don't stick around.
Man,
over the course of time.
My experience in LA and New York is that it is so much competition that you work hard,
especially for acting, dude. You know this better than anyone.
You work hard to maintain partnerships and relationships.
Yeah. It teaches you the value of a relationship, which I think in my mind is one of the most valuable things we have on earth is relationships.
Yeah. And I mean, anyway.
Yeah, I get it, man. So it sounds like you've had this narrative up until 4 years ago-ish in terms of passion and where you direct your passion and you see results from and or not seeing the results that you want, like whether it was basketball and not having that dying passion to want to push that forward or whatever it was. But it sounds like, and you haven't mentioned this, but I'm getting the feeling in the sense that like the passion was bled into the company and the business and the mission and the quality and the people and the services. And so it sounds like to me that the passion is where it should be. And you're seeing the things you want to see.
Yeah. There's for sure I know education is my calling.
Yep.
Like for sure I know that. So the passion is easier just because the path is easier because this is what I'm supposed to be doing. But even more than that, my passion for life is changing.
Yeah.
I used to listen to top shelf hip hop and R&B on my way to work.
Yep.
And I can tell you all the latest songs.
Yep.
Now I'm listening to podcasts.
Beautiful.
On my way to work.
Beautiful.
I hate reading.
Yeah.
Like I hate reading.
Yeah.
Now we over here talking about books.
Right.
Just because I know even with the company, that's just a small step to something greater.
Yep.
And the more I pour and believe in and sell out to life, the more other things, other tools that I'm using are not so burdensome.
There's this term sellout, and I don't love it because when I was in high school, we used to get ragged on for many different things. But when you would call someone a sellout, and like, you know, you're a sellout, and it's like, even if you were doing a good thing, like you wanted to go do something, your friends wanted to do something else, you're being a sellout. Yeah, all that shit. And like sellout has a negative connotation, but then you look at it,
bro, you got
what happens when you sell out from a recording artist standpoint, like, and you sell out a stadium, right? You've bought in. And so like I changed my mindset around sell out versus sell out, buy in. Right? Like I'm not selling out, I'm buying into me, I'm buying into growth, I'm buying into this. Right. And like you got to leave the things that kind of hold you down. Even if people try to, like, you know, they're your friends and stuff, they don't realize that it's detrimental to operate in that world. And so double down, buy in, you know, and then sell out tickets. You know what I mean?
So one of the things that I'm manifesting now in my head, right? Me doing my stand-up comedy, I'm selling out.
Yeah.
Stadiums.
Yeah.
I see Kevin Hart do it. I seen Murph do it.
Yep.
Like I'm selling out stadiums, bro.
Yeah.
Now what I'm manifesting is when I go do my motivational speeches, I'll do my 20 minutes of comedy up front.
Heck yeah. Yeah.
And stadiums.
Yeah.
To stadiums, to convention center full of thousands.
Yep.
I do my little 20 minutes up front about what I'm about to get into.
Yep.
But it all is encompassing.
And who doesn't want to hear a speaker that's interesting or fun or has a great story on the front end? And then you got them hooked, and then you're like, then you deliver, and then you're like, this is what we're doing.
It's like, this is why we paid you $100K.
Yeah, this is what we do. So what are some of the thought leaders, the books, the podcasts that you started reprogramming your mind towards versus the noise and not the music? I'm a music guy.
Oh, I love music.
You see like this, like the little cues and clues. Like I love music, but there's also a time to escapism, music, creativity, arts for sure is a place. It's a huge place. So it's part of what makes humans attractive is like the creativity and the arts and all these different things. But with doing YouTube University or getting on podcast or like learning something in your commute 20, 30 minutes to kind of get better at something or become a better person, what did you start delving into that kind of helps you operate better in the world? Like what types of podcasts, like thought leaders, who were you listening to? Who are you gaining information from?
It's a guy by the name of Inky Johnson.
Yeah. Very
dynamic.
familiar. Yeah.
Like dynamic.
I know.
Like dynamic.
Incredible.
E.T.
Yep.
Eric Thomas.
Super motivational. Yep.
There's this podcast, Jamaican cat, Trailblazers FM.
Okay.
And I like it because I don't know if a lot of people know about it.
Yeah.
But I like it.
Yeah. What are they talking about? Entrepreneurs?
Entrepreneurs.
So I got one, Jordan Mendoza, who's local here. I'll connect you with him so if you want to chat on his podcast. But he has Blaze Your Own Trail. And he's from Portland, so he's a trailblazer kind of thing going on. But also he talks entrepreneurs, like my kind of deal, entrepreneurs, thought leaders, creators, athletes, and just shares their journey.
Perfect. Yeah, definitely connect.
Yeah.
Then I started Power of Your Subconscious Mind, and then I started reading The Power of Now.
Yep. I remember the name of the book Eckhart Tolle was A New Earth. Check out A New Earth by Eckhart Tolle. Yeah, if you want to talk like things about ego and different things, how like unity consciousness and being becoming conscious awakened kind of thing.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
G.R. Point.
Okay.
Is the name of the play that I did at Hubby Play.
Okay. So remembering things. Yeah. Listen, I'm almost 40. You're just barely 40. Like we're getting there. We got to try to.
I read right before that. I read a book, Winners.
Okay.
I can't remember. I don't know the author, but the title of it is Winners.
It's Habits of Winners, kind of thing. What is it about?
He went through about 40 people throughout time.
Yep.
Did a lot of overseas comparisons.
Sure.
I liked it because he talked about Floyd Mayweather.
Heck yeah.
You can say what you want.
He is an independent businessman, and that is
Money made
power.
is a winner.
That is power.
Power.
He literally, like, and I was listening to this because I'm big into MMA, martial arts, and like there's a lot of crossover between like when him and McGregor got together and their $100 million fight, like, and all this stuff, hundreds of millions of dollars. They're so good at marketing. But, you know, Mayweather just, he lives life according to his own beat. Like he has all his own money. He makes all his own deals. He's free, right? As free can be when it comes to a business owner. And I'm sure he has responsibilities and things he has to take care of. I get all that. But that's what I wanted with my company. I was working for somebody else, like, let's say as a State Farm agent. It was the Jesse Tedesco agency, but it said State Farm on the door.
Right.
And they had control of a lot of my business.
Yeah.
And I couldn't run the business the way that I saw fit because I had other people telling me what to do. So if you can get to that point, like what sounds like what you're doing, freedom, man.
It's free.
Yeah.
It's free. So I like that book, Winners.
Yep.
But yeah, that's what I'm listening to right now.
Nice.
And reading.
Nice. Yeah. Check out Eckhart Tolle, A New Earth.
My staff just picked up some John Maxwell books for me.
Very cool.
Like 10 of them.
Very cool. Yeah. John's been around. I saw him because I've done conferences. So before COVID really shut down everything, I was going to be coming back from a trip to Peru on a spiritual journey in May of this year. And with about 10 or 15 other people, you know, again, like getting closer to God and working on self and being a better dad, better business person, better servant leader, all these things. And that week after I came back from that, I had at the time, and now I'm glad it didn't happen, I had a 200-person conference set up right across over here at the Rome Galleria for entrepreneurs, business owners, local people that wanted to connect with other like-minded people. We had an amazing speaker list of 10 speakers sharing out a ton of value, and then breaking out into VIP groups and then taking them over here to the Battery for like a VIP dinner. And just surrounding yourself with people that are kind of cut from the same cloth, like completely different life experiences, completely different backgrounds and everything. But putting all those people in one room, which before COVID was a great idea, putting hundreds of people together and just seeing the magic that would happen, you know? And I think that whether they're thought leaders that you subscribe to, podcasts you subscribe to, you know, people in your network that are motivating, inspiring, whether it's these events that are going on. And again, because of John Maxwell, I saw him down at 10X, Grant Cardone's thing down in Miami. And and it's kind of hokey, but the first thing he said when he got on stage, he's like, "My name is John, and I'm your friend." And he's just like so disarming. But like we need more of that. We need more, like, especially in Atlanta, because there wasn't a lot. And that's why it's called It's crazy, but I named it Revolution ATL, and it's the evolution portion is kind of like modified. So it's a revolution of thinking and a way of being, but it's an evolution like kind of growing together.
That's what you're saying. And
it was crazy because before all like the civil rights stuff kind of kicked back up, and like we really had revolution in Atlanta. So like now when this thing comes out, it's going to kind of go hand in hand with like we need to change, right? So it's just, I think that having these thought leaders and having these people that are in your life so that you can show up better as a human being, I mean, that's what it's all about.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
And being an example to your family.
That's it.
And friends.
Right? And how you do anything is how you do everything. It's like, I've been through a lot of shit in my life, and I've held death in my hands a couple times, and I know the value of a moment. And there's this Stoic philosophy, it's called memento mori. Memento mori says, know that you're mortal, know that you must die. Let that be all the inspiration you need to show up well in the world. And the decisions you make in conversations, the decisions you make, you know, behind closed doors, like if you were to die today, would you be happy with your life?
Right.
It's all about how you show up in the world.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Beautiful, brother.
And that's how I'm doing it now.
Hey, thank you so much.
Hey, I appreciate you, man.
Yeah,
I really do.
Dude,
I really do, man.
This has been amazing. He's the amazing, mighty, and powerful Keedar Whittle. I'm Jesse T. Be sure to catch us on next week's episode of The Jesse T Show.